right, Jan Verhaas, thanks a lot for sitting down with me. I've often described you, I know you're a football fan, I've often described you as the Pierluigi Collina of snooker refereeing. I'm sure it's a reference that you get quite often. Must be nice to be back at the Crucible, regardless of how used you are to being here. It's always a special place.
Absolutely, it's the one that I always look forward to. It's the one that I still get butterflies on, and yeah, it's just amazing to be back here. Yeah.
It's six finals, I think you've done in the World Championship.
Finals.
Just the six. Do any stand out in particular? I'm looking at the list of ones you've done. I know Ken Doherty, our own Ken Doherty, was involved in your first in '03, and then of course the famous Ronnie O'Sullivan year off snooker in 2013 when he comes back to win. So are there any in particular that stand out for you?
Every World Final stands out for me. Yeah, I remember them all very well. I mean, I had the Ebden dot one as well. You know, that was a really late finish. Obviously, like you said, you know, the first one is the best. You know, this is your dream coming true, coming through that curtain and referee your first World Final. But they're always special, whether you do 1, 3, 6, or maybe 10 even. You know, you still, if that's not exciting, then you're in the wrong job.
I know you've spoken about the Masters finals as well, and Ali Pali is a place that means a lot to snooker fans and yourself, I'm sure, as well. Especially those Paul Hunter finals, I'm sure, the late great Paul Hunter. I'm sure they stand out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. They're good memories, you know. That was still in the conference centre, Wembley Conference Centre, as to the Ali Pali. Ali Pali is a nice arena, but the conference centre for me was the best arena to ever work in. Obviously, to do all three of Paul's victories, yeah, is amazing, you know, to be involved in that.
There's been a lot of mad moments in the Crucible and the World Championship this year so far, not least the orange powder or dry pit or whatever you want to call it. What did you make of that whole thing? Because it's not something we're used to seeing. I know Olivier Martil, one of your colleagues, was called into some important action on the other table as well.
Yeah, Popeye we call him now. Yeah, I mean it's crazy that it happens. You know, like I've once had the streaker here. When I refed on table one, it was still a two-table situation, and this guy's come down with a Sven Eriksson mask on, and it was just crazy, you know, because you're trying to get in a certain zone, you have no idea what's happening. It's very daunting on the referees, you know, you don't know what to do really. I mean, Olivier stepped in, but you know, you don't know what these people are about and what they are doing. So yeah, although it was very brave of Olivier to do it, I don't think I don't think everybody would have done the same thing, you know. But luckily he did, because that meant that we still had a session of snooker, whether it be just on the one table.
I recall Ronnie O'Sullivan is someone who's still involved in the championship this year, of course, and still playing really well at 47. That moment in 2010, I think, at the World Open with yourself, when he's asking after, was it one red and one black, about the prize money for a 147. It's one of those moments that every snooker fan remembers. What are your recollections of that, and just how crazy and brazen, I suppose, it was?
Well, that is exactly my memory from it. You know, I remember it so well because he asked me after 8, just scoring one black. And you know, you can't really comprehend what he's doing. He's putting so much pressure on himself as well to do it. And then throughout the break, every time when we passed each other, he's just asking me, do you know something yet? Have you heard something yet? What is the break? And then when I told him there was no maximum break price, he just kept telling me, well, I'm not going to finish it then. So I had it a little bit in my head what to do. You know, it wasn't like just off the spur moment. Obviously, I spoke to some fans that came before the match started. I spoke to some people from Spain and some people from Portugal. And I thought it would be so unfair, you know, this is their moment as well. So then I just asked him to pot it for the fans, and he gladly did.
It was an unbelievable moment, and I think the fans were glad that you asked them to pot that last ball as well. Where do you stand, or do, I guess, referees, do they have opinions on this, on the GOAT conversation, the greatest? And I guess Ronnie has beaten Stephen Hendry in terms of every single number, and of course he's looking for world title number 8 this year. Do you have any thoughts on who the greatest ever to pick up a cue is?
Well, I mean, if you ask Stephen, he will probably say himself that it's Ronnie, you know. So, I mean, I grew up in the Stephen Hendry era. You know, this is where I started refereeing. And to me, he was always the GOAT, you know. And then there was the discussion, who was the best, is it Steve Davis or Stephen Hendry? There will always be somebody else, you know, but I don't know whether there will be another Ronnie O'Sullivan. But you never know, you know. But I don't think in my lifetime that will happen. But yeah, if you'd ask me, I think Ronnie is probably the most natural talented player that I've ever seen at the table.
It's funny, you see all the fans waiting outside the stage door at the Crucible and other events for the players, but because of the television time as well, the referees have built up a certain level of fan support as well. Do you get that? Do you get that sense of people that want to come up and get the photographs and the autographs and whatever else for yourself even?
Yeah, we get asked, when there's events on, you get asked for your autograph or for, selfie or whatever. I don't think they're so much fans for us. They're just snooker fans, It's very rarely happens that I'm in my own hometown and I get recognised, But obviously when snooker is about and people are waiting at stage door or waiting in the foyer and you walk through the foyer, yeah, you get asked. I think it's part and parcel of the job and part and parcel of doing the job in front of television cameras.
When you're away from the game, do you watch plenty of snooker? I know you're involved. You like to play and watch darts, especially in the Netherlands. It's a huge sport, and a bit of tennis as well. Do you try and stay clear from snooker when you're not working, or is it still an obsession when you're away from the base?
No, definitely not an obsession. I mean, I work about 200 days a year around the snooker table. So when I'm at home and I tell my wife I want to watch a night snooker on the telly, I think she's telling me to go. So. Now, I don't see a lot of snooker when I'm away. When I'm at home, I don't play it myself. I used to when I was younger, but again, nowadays, I don't really want to see a snooker table when I'm at home.
I know you're a huge Feyenoord fan as well, and we've someone who does a lot of football punditry for us, David Connolly, used to play as a striker for Feyenoord from 97 to 01, a former Irish international. What's that like for you? Do you get to go to matches and follow the team properly?
Yeah, me and my friends, we have, there's three of us and we have 2 season tickets.
Right.
So we bought them between the three of us, and I've always said, there's the one thing, if I'm in the Netherlands, then I want to have a seat in that stadium. So yeah, I do watch them pretty regularly. Obviously not as much as I would like to, and especially now with the title within grasps, you want to go to one of the last 4 matches. We've still got 2 matches at home. But I don't think I'll be able to go, unfortunately. But send my regards to David Connolly. I'm a big fan of him, yeah.
Yeah, he scored a few goals in that time at Feyenoord as well that he'll remember. Finally, Jan, I guess the Netherlands are in our Republic of Ireland group as well for the Euros, and we're all getting excited in Ireland about Evan Ferguson, this young striker who's signed a new contract with Brighton. He's going to come up against Virgil van Dijk and some tough defenders when the Dutch. I think it's in Dublin in September, and then Ireland go to the Netherlands in November. So games that we look forward to. But the Dutch team are doing okay at the moment.
Okay. Well, we got played off the park really by France. We had a really bad game against Gibraltar. I mean, we only scored a couple. Where we, without any disrespect to a team like Gibraltar, but you should score at least 6 or 7 with the players that we've got, and we didn't. So I think it'll be a struggle. I think the qualifying is not going to be that much of a problem, but you never know. I mean, the Republic is pretty much capable of getting a result against us. If that happens, then we are going to be in trouble. So we've got to be on our back foot in these 2 games, definitely.
Well, we look forward to them. We always remember in 2001 Roy Keane and the battle with Mark Overmars he had in Dublin. So there's a lot of memories with those 2 teams. So we look forward to it. Jan, great stuff. Enjoy the rest of the World Championship and have fun.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.